Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Saad Sangat Ji, welcome to the next session in the Charitropakhyan series. Today we will be looking at the 12th Charitr, which is the 11th tale that Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj shares with us. What's interesting is that in this tale, in the very starting of the tale, as you'll see, there is no mention of the mantris speaking to the king. The overlaying story of the mantris talking to Raja Chartir Singh is not mentioned. And this Chartir is personally one of my favorite ones, especially the ones we just covered so far. This is one of my favorite ones. And what comes to mind is that so far there's been 10 tales in total, right? 11 Charitras, which is 10 tales. 10 stories that Guru Sahib has presented from the mouth of the mantri to Raja Chartir Singh. But here in the 11th tale, it's almost like they're sharing with us what a Jeev Roop Istri is meant to do. Because remember, the Siddhant, the philosophy of Gurmat revolves around this analogy of the Jeev Roop Istri marrying Pati Parmeshwar Vaheguru Ji. Jeev Roop Istri means that soul bride. We are all the soul brides who are meant to marry our Creator, Pati Parmeshwar, who is meant to marry the husband Vaheguru Ji. So that analogy is seen throughout Ad Guru Granth Sahib Ji, is seen throughout so many different shabads from Guru Ram Das Ji, Guru Arjan Dev Ji, from Guru Nanak Dev Ji. And that analogy brings this point of view that Charitropakhyan is the description, the illustration of that analogy being presented forward. Charitropakhyan is that illustration of how a Jeev Roop Istri is meant to behave, how a soul bride is meant to behave, and how they are meant to connect to the Creator. So far we've seen what the soul bride should not be doing, right? If you look at every single story, the preceding story for example, where one interesting thing that happened was when the wife of the bani, the tradesman, when the tradesman found out that she has done all these things, he comes home and he tells her, here, open up this area here, let me see what's underneath this area where she buried all 3 bodies. And he said to her, if you do this, you can stay in the husband's home. Which was interesting. He's the husband, but he spoke in third person. Guru Sahib made him speak in third person. Guru Sahib said, if you show me what's here, if you tell me the truth, you'll be allowed to stay in the husband's home. But he's a husband. He could have just said, like, if you show me the truth, you'll be allowed to stay in my house. But he didn't say it that way. Guru Sahib made him say it in a different way, which made me feel that Guru Sahib was bringing out the point of view that if you speak the truth to the Creator, even when times are so rough for you, even when the amount of pops are its highest, at its peak, even then if you choose to speak the truth to the Creator, then they'll let you stay in the husband's home. Husband meaning our Pati Parmeshwar, their house, their home, their heart. They'll let us stay there. So Saad Sangat Ji, this story will be of Radhika and Krishna. Before the story starts, I want you to keep in mind a certain concept of Radhika and Krishna, how these two are illustrated in Gurmat philosophy. Radhika is meant to be seen as that Gurmukh. Radhika is meant to be seen as that Jeev Roop Istri, us, the Jagyasus, the soul seekers, the seekers of spiritual wisdom. We are Radhika in this story. And Krishna is the illustration of the divine Creator. Krishna is Vaheguru Ji in this story. How Radhika presents her love for Krishna is that internal love that a jigyasu, a seeker, has. That internal love is now being illustrated with words, illustrated in our brain with images. So this is a very important concept to keep forward, to keep in your mind when reading this or this Charitra, because otherwise the concept cannot be understood. Bhagat Jayadev ji, whose bani is in Guru Granth Sahib ji, they wrote a Granth which is outside of Guru Granth Sahib ji, but that Granth is an explicit Granth between the love of Radhika and Krishna, very explicit. If someone were to read that without the insight of what we just shared, without looking at it as what is meant to be looked at, they will think, how could Bhagavad write such an explicit text? But the truth of the matter is, love between a husband and wife is explicit. And that when Gurbani Maharaj says, you're the soul and you're going to Rave Jai, Prabha Ravana Jamu. Ravana means to make love. I'm going to make love with my husband. I'm going to sit on the seja, the bed of my husband. I'm going to, and the husband's Vaiguruji, right? And all these kind of concepts of Jeevrup, Istri and Parameshwar Vaiguruji is personified in the way that we know to be love between a husband and a wife. So this Charitra is just that same concept being illustrated. Let's look into this Charitra and see the beauty that Guru Sahib brings out between the Jeevrup Istri and Pati Parameshwar Vaiguruji. Dohra Bindraban Brikhan Brikpan ki Suta Radhika Naam. Guru Sahib starts off with a Doha meter, and they talk about a location, Bindraban. Bindraban is a location, is a place in India, is a city in India, and the person we're going to talk about today is Radhika. Sorry, this is already highlighted. The Radhika is a name of a woman who falls in love with Krishna, and the love story between Krishna and Radhika is heard throughout the ages. She's a daughter. Sutta means child. She's a child of someone named Brikpan. So Brikpan is her father. Okay? So this is her name. Harso kiya Charitr tehe din keh dekhat baam. She's played a Charitr, she's played a Leela. Remember, one meaning of Charitra is Leela, a play. She's done this Leela with Har. Har means Paramatma, and in this case is referring straight to Krishna ji. From the very day she's seen this Sundar Roop of Parmeshwar as Krishna ji, from that very day she started to play this Leela in her mind. Krishna Roop Lakh Bas Pai Nistin Hirat Tahe. When she's seen one day, for the first time, she's seen Krishna ji walking past her. After that, Nistin Hirat Tahe, she craved to see him night and day. Nis meaning night, Din meaning day. Vyas Prasar Asur Sur Pedana Pavat Jahe. These are all different people. Vyas is known as Ved Vyas, who is the father of categorizing the Vedas. The 4 Veds, the way they're categorized is attributed to Ved Vyas. Even the 18 Puranas are attributed to Ved Vyas. The author of the Mahabharata also attributed to this person. Parasar was his father. Asur meaning demons, Sur meaning Devte, angelic beings. Pedana Pavat Jahe. That even the most angelic beings, the most Vidwan there has ever been in this world, Vedvyas, his father, no one could understand the Ped, the secrets of Krishna ji. Pedana Pavat Jahe. They were not able to comprehend the beauty of Krishna ji, beauty physically, internally, meaning, remember, Krishna ji is the form of Vaiguruji here, right? No one can understand the ends of Vaheguru. No one can understand the ends of that Creator. No one can obeyanta, right? Be-ant, without any end. You know, there's no limitations to that creator. That's what they're trying to say with this line here. Lok laj jehe hit taji or tajyo tanatam. She left behind lok laj. Laj means to have a certain type of reputation in the world. Lok laj, lok meaning people, to have a reputation amongst people, to let all that go, not caring what anyone would say about you. Right? This path of Gursikhi is exactly that. You have to leave behind the lok laj. You have to leave behind what people will say about you. If you were to care what people would say, then you can't tie a distar. You won't be able to keep your hair. Why? Because people will bring you down. They'll say to Jada hi baba ban rahe hain. You're going to this path of spirituality. What's the need of looking like this? People will bring you down. Why? Because they're not able to do that path that you're doing. They're not able to step on that path that you're stepping on. For that reason, they'll happily bring you down. You know. So on this path, you have to leave behind lok laj, and that's what Radhika is doing. Lok laj je hit taji. Hit means prem. She left behind the prem of lok laj. She's left behind the love of her friends, her family. Why? For Vaheguru, for Krishna. She left behind everything so that she can continue on this path to her love. Or tajyo tanatam, she also left behind her money and her house. Means she left behind all attachment to this world. Kehe bid pyare paiya purna hove kaam. And then she thinks, kehe bid, kis tarike naal pyare paiye, kis tarike naal main apne pyare nu pa sakdi haan. She starts thinking, how can I obtain my love, my pyara? So beautiful. How can I attain my the love of my pyara? Purna hove kaam. In this way, how can I achieve this kaam that I have, this work that I have to do, that I want to connect with my pyara? How can I achieve that? She starts thinking in her mind. Milan het ek sahchari pathi chatur jiya jaan kavan chal moko sakhi meet milaiya kaan. So milan het ek sahchari, to meet her pyara. Het means vaste, right? For the reason of hate. Milan means to meet. To meet her love, she thinks in her mind that I think I should send a letter to Krishna. For that, I need a sahchari. Sahchari means a dasi, a servant. I need a dasi. Pathi, I'm going to send her. Pathi means to send to Krishna ji. So ek sahchari pathi. So she's called forth a sahchari. She's called forth a messenger, so that she's going to write a letter, give it to the messenger, and she's going to give that message to Krishna for her. Right? She's going to be the middleman for her. Chatur jiya jaan. She's thought of a sahchari. She's thought of a dasi, a messenger who's going to be very intelligent. Chatur meaning intelligent. So she's thought of someone whose name will be revealed later on in this Charitr, and she's thinking that I'm going to write a letter and give it to the sahchari. So she has someone call for this messenger. In the meantime, kavan shalamoko sakhi. Sakhi means friends, particularly lady friends, right? So Radhika, she speaks to her lady friends, right? And she asks them a question, right? While someone's going to get the messenger, she asks the lady friends around her, and she says, kavan chal moko sakhi meet miliye kaan. In what way, in what tarika, in what way can I meet my friend? Meet miliye means mera mitra kive mile minu. How can I meet my friend Kaan, whose name is Kaan? Kaan means Krishna ji. How can I meet my friend Krishna? Hey Sakhiyo, please tell me. And this refers back to so many shabads of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. For example, in Shabad Hajare, Guru Sahib presents this conversation between the Jagyasu. Remember, Jagyasu means Jagandi Aas Rakhan Wala. The one who has the desire to wake up. That's who we call a Jagyasu. In one Shabad, in Shabad Hajare, Guru Sahib says, Jai Pusho Sohagni Vahe, Kinni bati so paiye. Maya says, I go ask the Sahagnis. The Sohagni are those people that have achieved love with the Creator. Suhag means that person, that woman who has achieved, who have fulfilled the love of her husband. Suhag is that wife who has fulfilled the love of her husband, who has completely received that love, whose husband is always going to live forever. It's called Suhag. Jai Pasho Sohagni Vahe. I go ask the Sohagnis, Kinni Bati Soho Paiye. Soho means husband. In what way? Bati means way. Like she's asking the same thing, right? Kavna Shal Moko Sakhi Meet Malaye Khan. The same way. Kinni Bati Soho Paiye. In what way can I receive my Soho, my husband? And they respond by saying, Jo kich kare so palla kar maniye. Hikmat hukam chukaiye. Whatever the husband, the way to receive the husband is whatever the husband does, onu pala mano. Whatever Vaiguruji does, Pati Parmeshwar does, onu pala mano. Know that to be the very best thing for you. Yeah? So that's the response that the Sohagans give. Here in the story, Kavane chal moko sakhi, hey my sakhis, kis tarike na? In what way can I receive meet milaiye Khan? In what way can I receive my friend Khan Krishna ji? Alittle Brahma Vyas ar Ved Ped Neh Janahi. Now Radhika now does the ustat of Krishna ji. Right? She says that Krishna who Brahma, right? These are different people. Brahma ho gaya, Brahma ji. Vyas, Rishi Ved Vyas, who we talked about earlier. Ar means and. Ved, the Veds, the scriptures. Ped nahi janahi. Even the scriptures, even these most angelic people, even the most Vidwans of the Vidwans. Brahma is meant to be the person who uttered the Veds. Vyas is the person who categorized the Veds. You know, such intelligent scholars, right? Even they could not find the end. And in that the scripture that they wrote, even that scripture cannot find the end of this Christian. Yeah. Siva Sanakadik says Netakar Shivji, you know. Sankadik means Sanat, Sanand, Sant Kumar. These are the sons of Brahmaji. Sankadik, Adik, Sanak, Adik. Sanak is the name of Brahmaji's son. Adik means etc, etc. Sanak, Adik means the four sons of Brahmaji. Ses meaning Sheshnag. These are mentions to different parts of mythology. Net karamanahi. Net means, like it comes in Jab Sahib. Net ban trin kahat. Right? To as sarab naam katha kavan. Karan naam pranat smat Guru Sahib. Guru Gobind Singh Maharaj writes Net as there as well. Net means, if you take the nana on one side and you put the tata on one side, eight. Eight means end. Net means na iti, which has no end. Iti means end. Na iti, which means there is no end. He is beyond. That there is no end to that Creator. Net karmanahi, the Sheshnag, Sanik, and the other sons of Brahmaji, Shiv, all these people keep pronouncing that Paramatma, that Krishna ji, to be Net. There's no end. Yeah. Jo sab patan sada jagat mein gaiya. And so many different ways. Sab patan, in all different ways. Patan means different ways. Sab means all. Patan means ways. In all these different ways, sada jagat mein gaiya. In this world, sada vaste jagat vich us Paramatma di ustat hundi hai. Yeah. One question might come to someone's mind and say that why are we looking at Krishna to be God? Right? Why are we looking at Krishna to be Vaiguruji? Well, the truth is that this is a representation of that Creator, right? All the different, avatars that came were the avatars of Vaiguruji, right? Har jug jug bhagat upaya paj rakhta aya Ram Raja. That Hari Paramatma, in every single jug, he makes his bhagats. And then Paj Rakhta Aya Ram Raja, and then he comes to save their Paj. Or Paj Rakhan Vastavi Apanta. He comes to save their honor as well, the Bhagat's honors. Right? And so what ways did he come to save the honor in these different avatars? Right? So And then the Leela between Krishna and the Gopiya, his followers, it's a perfect representation of Jeev Rupasti and Parmeshwar Vaheguru Ji, right? Even in the 24 Avtaras Guru Gobind Singh Maharaj wrote, the 24 Avtaras of Vaheguru, in the 24 Avatars, the longest Avatar is Krishna Avatar, right? So for that reason, this is a primal use, especially in Guru Sahib's literature, to dictate how a Jeev Rupastri would interact with Parmeshwar Vaheguru Ji. Okay, ho tavan purkh sajjani mohe aan milaiya, ho tavan purkh sajjani. Oh my sajjan, oh my sajjani. Sajjani means a female version of sajjan. Sajjan means friend, usually in the masculine form. Sajjani is the feminine version of friend. Ho tavan purkh sajjani mohe aan milaiye. Is there anyone that can unite me with my Krishna? She asks. Okay. Now, again, in the following kabit, Radhika describes her heart. She describes how her heart is, and she's giving this heart to Krishna Ji. Yeah. So as a Gurmukh, this is the state of a Gurmukh in Bairag. Yeah. Because she's detached from Krishna, she doesn't know how to get to Krishna. Right? She's asking a way to meet her love. Right. In the same way, a Gurmukh, when they go to the highlight of Bairag, this is the avastha they'll experience. Guru Gobind Singh Maharaj is describing here very beautifully. Kabit Siddhata Beput Ate Mekholina Mekh Sandhi Anjanadi Selita Subhav Sub Pakhana. So she says to her Sakhi, she says, can anyone go and tell the state of my heart to Krishna? What is the state of my heart? My state of my heart is Siddhata Beput. So what's really cool is that she's presenting herself to be a sadhu, a fakir, a bhagat, like a sannyasi bhagat. Yeah. Usually, sannyasi bhagats are known to detach from the world, right? Go into the jungles, live their life there, right? And for that reason, they have certain type of jins, certain type of characteristics, certain type of clothing or garments that they wear that sets them apart from the world. So people know that these are sannyasi sadhus. These are detached hermits. These are people that live in the wild doing bhakti of Parameshwar. So she's saying that I am your detached sadhu, right? Because in the very beginning, she let go of her house, she let go of her property, she let go of attachment to all these different things, right? And now she's presenting herself in that way, right? So she'll go through different characteristics that a sannyasi sadhu carries, and give the state of her heart with each image of that characteristic. I'll share with each word with you guys. So Siddhata. Siddhata means chitiyai, whiteness, cleanliness. Beput. Beput is what the sadhus used to rub on their skin. Viputi was literally meaning ashes, right? So what sadhus would do, the sannyasi sadhus, what they would do, the hermits, they'll take a bunch of ash, right? And they'll put it all over their skin. Right? There was a few reasons for that. One of the reasons was that, let me remember death. Let me remember that my body will become just this ash, right? So koi moh na hoye manu sareer de naal. May I not be attached to my body anyway. So that viputi, that ash was a reminder that my body is temporary. Second thing was that it also kept them cool in the summer months, right? And it kept them warm in the winter months, right? So that's why they were used to put that. So she's saying that my viputi, my ashes that I rub on my body, is my cleanliness, my purity that I keep for you, my shuddhaness that I keep for you. Yeah. Ate means and. Mekhali na mekh. Yeah. Mekhali means this type of blanket that the fakirs used to carry. Yeah, these sadhus used to carry a type of like a blanket they used to cover their body with, right? Because they were naked basically. Those sadhus, they just had maybe just a few garments on them, and one of them was this mekhuli, right? Which was like a fatya hoya khasti halat vich chadar, right? It was basically a really broken down blanket, right? Namek. So what is my mekhuli? She says my namek is my mekhuli. Namek means to cry so much, right? To be in such bad ag. She said my intense bad ag for you is my mekhuli. Sandhi Anjanadi Seli da Subhav Subha Pakhana. And then what is my Seli? So sadhus also use the word Seli as well. So if you hear the katha of Sri Nanak Prakash, or from Suraj Prakash, you will hear that the first gurus used to wear seli, yeah, and seli was a type of thread that used to go on top of your dastar, so people would wear it on top of their dastar or on top of their pagdi, or if they're wearing a topi or something, or they'll wear it like across their neck, like a janeu, and that used to symbolize your attachment to Vaiguruji for a sannyasi sadhu. She says, so what my seli is, what I wear is my anjan. My anjan is a type of surma, right? That a type of mascara that they put on their eyes, eyeliner basically. Eyeliner of, in this sense, Sandhi Anjan. Sandhi Anjan meaning my connection to you. Sandhi means connection. My connection to you is my eyeliner, right? And that is my seli that I wear. The subab, supapakhana, or Sandhi Anjan. So my eyeliner is that connection to you, and Seli da Sabab Subhapakhana, and my Seli is the Sabab, my nature, which is to speak Subhapakhana, to speak purely. Pakhana means to speak, yeah. Pakhana means to speak. Shubh means purely. Subab means nature. By nature, to speak purely is my Seli that I wear for you. So she's going through all these different things. Bhagava sope sade naina di lalai sayo. And then she says, my Bhagava. Bhagava is a type of color that Udasis used to wear. Those sadhus, they used to wear this type of color on a garment. Bhagava rang kehte hain. It's like a orange type of garment. She says, my base, my outfit, that's supposed to be Bhagava. That is my Sade Nana Di Lalai. Lalai means the redness. My eyes have been crying out. I've been crying out my eyes. For that reason, my eyes are red now in the memory of Krishna. Yeah? And that is my base. That is that outfit that I wear as a sadhu. Sayo means oh my lady friends again. Yara da dhyan eho kandamul chakhana. And in the jungles, when the detached hermits will be in the jungles, what they will eat, they'll eat kandamul. Kandamul. Mul means like roots. Kand meaning plants. Kandamul mean like roots and plants, right? Because what does a sadhu eat in the jungles? He's going to eat plants. So she said that yara da dhyan. Yar means my friend. Krishna. The dhyan of Krishna, the meditation on Krishna, the focus that I keep on Krishna is my kandamul chakhana. Chakhana meaning to eat. Is my food that I eat. Then she says, Rodanda majjan. Majjan means ishnan, to take a shower. Right? Rodan means to cry. Right? To cry out is my ishnan. So putri pattar. And pattar means panda. Which means a bowl, a vessel, and putri literally means the pupils. Right? She said, my pupils have become the panda, right? The bowl, the utensil, the bowl that I use, and me crying out is where the water gets stored in, to that panda, yeah. And then I take a shower in that. That's my shower. That's my majjan, yeah. So because every sadhu has a certain ishnan, right? Like even for us, we were given nam, dan, ishnan, these three tenets, you can say. For sadhu, ishnan is very important, so they'll go to different tirths to do ishnans. She says, my ishnan is crying for you, O Krishna, right? Geet Gita dekhan di pichya. She said, Geet Gita. So there's a granth called Gita, there's a text called the Gita, which is the conversation between Krishna and Arjun on the battle of Kurukshetra, within the Mahabharata war. In that battle scene, there's a conversation between Krishna and Arjun, and that conversation is recorded as the Gita. Right? So she says, Geet Gita. She says, my Geet, my songs to you is reading the Gita, right? Because Krishnaji's, but effectively in that timeline of Radha and Krishna, the Gita probably was not yet written, because Krishna met Radhe way before he went to, before the Mahabharata war. So Guru Sahib was playing with history in a way. Dekhan di pichya, and pichya means what sadhus will call pikhya. Pikhya is a type of begging, right? So sadhus will go from time to time, and they'll leave the jungles, they'll go into the city area, and they'll beg as well. And they'll beg for like maybe garments, or they'll beg for a little bit of food, that kind of thing. She said, Dekhandi pichya. So my begging is to see you. That's what I beg for. Dhyan tuwa bal rakhna. And then sadhus will also do tuwa. Tuwa meaning like a tuna, like a campfire, kind of a bonfire. They'll set up a bonfire. And she says, my bonfire is your dhyan. So just moving on. Ali ina gopiya diya akhiyan da jog sara nand ko kumar nu jarur jai akhana. She says to her lady friends, she said, oh, if someone can just go and tell my Krishna ina gopiyan di akhiyan da jog sara, she could tell the state of these eyes to Krishna, to my love. If someone can go tell him, only then, oh, Jarur Jai Akhana, someone please go tell the state of my eyes to Krishna. That's what she's saying. Baithi hutti saaj ka singar sab sikhyan mein, yahi beech kaan jo dikhai aan de gaye. She said, I was sitting amongst, she's remembering how she first saw Krishna, right? She said, I was sitting amongst my friends, and Kanju dikhai aan de gaye, and I saw Krishna walk past me. Tab hi to lino hai churaye chit mero mai, chetak chalaye mano cheri mohe keh gaye. She said, from that day on, my chit has been taken away. Jera mera chit si, oh chura liya unne. Chura means to steal away. Krishna has stolen away my chit, my surti, my focus, And she says, Mero Mai. She talks to, and this is a very common form of emphasizing the Guru's relationship to the Sikh in Gurbani. You will see this come up a lot. Mai, Mai means mother, It's like when someone has their biggest pains in life, or the biggest struggles in life, or the biggest accomplishments in life, it could go either way, they want to tell their mom, right? Because the mom is one of those, the biggest figure that you can have in your life, right? For a Sikh, the same thing happens when you journey and on the state of bhakti, on the state of spirituality. There'll be ups and downs. There'll be achievements that you might make. There'll be sad times as well, And in those times, you want to tell your mom, and in this case, the Guru is the mom, right? The Guru is the Mai, right? But anyways, so she's saying here, okay, oh Mai mera, oh mom, my chit has been stolen away from me ever since I saw Krishna. Chetaka chulaye mano cheri mohe keh gaye, and it makes me feel that mano, that he's made me his servant. I feel like I'm his servant ever since I just saw him once. Kahan karo kite jao, maro kite bikh khao, 20 biswe mero jaan, bishu so dase gaye. We're definitely going over a lot of times, so I don't think I have the time to show you each word. But she's saying, Kahan karo, what should I do now? Kite jaun, where should I go? Maro kito bik khao, bik means poison. Should I just die now? Where should I go? What should I do? My heart is beating in the love of Krishna. My heart is beating in such, and it's so sad to be detached from him. 20 biswe means like completely. Mero jaan bichu so dase gaye. It feels like my life has been struck by a snake. It feels like the snake has bit me because I'm in such pain. When two lovers are in this situation, when they're separated, that pain is so strong. That pain is so strong that death is easier than the pain of separation. Between two lovers, death is easier than the pain of separation. Guru Sahib is showing that the state of a Gursikh. The state of a Gursikh is such that they rather be separated They rather be separate. They rather death come to them than be separated physically. You know, like for example, Guru Angad Dev Ji. When Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj became Jyoti Jyot, they left their physical body. Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj, they wrote a slok. They uttered a slok, and they said, to live after your friend, to live after your friend has left you, that is no life at all. They say, Jis pyare se neho, tis aage mar chaliye. Trig jeevan sansar, tinke pache jeevana. Living after your love, sansar trig. That the world feels cursed to live after your lover passes away. Okay, so चखन चितेन सो चोराए चित मेरो लिए लटपटी पाग सो लपेट मन ले गए. His eyes, Krishna ji's eyes have taken away my chit, and latpati pag, pag means pag, you know, like at the start. It feels like he's taken my heart and wrapped her up in his dastar. So lapet man la gaye, and he's ran away with it. You know, why the dastar? Because that's the highest thing on the body, right? That's the highest thing you can wear is a dastar. My heart is in his dastar means that isn't the highest place. It is the highest thing that he holds on me. You know? Dohra लाल बिरह तुमरे पगी सो मोह पै रह्यो ना जाए तांते मैं आपन लिखी पतिया अत अकुलाए. Now she says in this state, akulai means quickly. Laal birah tumre pagi. Te pagi means ever since I met you. Lal meaning my pyara, my love. Ever since I have met you, Krishna ji, my love, mo pa rahyo na jai. I could not hold myself together anymore. It's for this reason, taante main. For this reason, I, apan likhi, patiya at akulai. I've written a letter for you. Right? So she quickly writes a letter. And kabit रूप परे राग परे सुंदर सुहाग परे मृग ओ में मोलन की मानो एह खान है. And she writes a letter, and the summary of this letter is here. What the letter actually says will come up soon, but she does ustat of Krishna ji. She says, Roop pare, you're full of roop. Rag pare, you're full of love. Sundara sohag pare, you're full of beauty. Mrig o melochan ki mano eh khan hai. You are the khan, you are the mine of mrig o melochan. Mrig meaning komalta, of softness. You are the mine of softness. Meen hi ne kino cheen, lina hai be roop roop. Chit ke choraye ke ko cheran saman hai. You have made me like a fish out of water. Meen means fish. Meen heen kino cheen, lino hai bedup roop. Chit ko choraye ka, chit ko choraye the, ko choran saman hai. You've taken my chit away like you're a robber. Like a robber, you have robbed me of my life. Right? You are now my life. Logo ke ujagar hai, gunun ko ke nagar hai, surat ke sagar hai, soba ke nidan hai. You are the brightness of the world. You are Gunana ko Nagar. You're the city of guns. Surat ko Sagar. You're the ocean of surti, of consciousness. Soba ko Nidan hai. And you're the treasure of praise. So she's just doing Vastati. Sahib ki siri pade, chitak ki chiri ari, ali tere nain Ram Chandra se, Ram Chandra ke so ban hai. Your eyes are like the arrows of Ram Chandra Bhagwan. Your eyes are like the arrows. Nain Ram Chandra ko se ban hai. Ban means says bow and arrow. Your eyes are like the arrows of Ram Chandra Bhagwan. And Sahib ki siri pade chetak ki chiri ari. Ali tere nain Ram Chandra se ko ban hai. You take it away in my heart in so many different ways. Gurus have so creative with their expressions. Dohra Jain Prabha ek sahchari taako liyo balaye. So now, what does Radhika do? Radhika had, remember in the beginning, she had sent to get a dasi, someone who take her letter to Krishna ji. Now she has come. Her name is Man Prabha. Yeah, that's the name of the Sachari. Remember, Sachari means dasi. That's the name of dasi. Tahe pathayo Krishna prat ped sakal samjai. And then she sends Man Prabha, this girl, this messenger, to Krishna ji, but letting her know what she needs to do when she gets there. ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਕਰ ਪੱਤੀਆ ਦਈ ਕਹੋ ਕ੍ਰਿਸ਼ਨ ਸੋ ਜਾਏ. So ਉਸਨੂੰ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਪੱਤਰੀਆ ਦਿੱਤੀ. She gave her ਚਿੱਠੀ, the letter to her, and told her, make sure you say this to Krishna when you get there. ਤੁਮਰੇ ਬਿਰਹ ਰਾਧਾ ਬਦੀ ਬੇਗ ਮਿਲੋ ਤੇ ਆਏ. Make sure you tell him that from your Vishoda, birha means Vishoda, from your Vishoda, O Krishna ji, Radha is badi. Radha bichari badi hui hai. Beg milo te hai. She's in such a state of bairag. She's in such a state of separation from you. Please beg milo. Beg means right away. Please come and meet her right away. Beg milo te hai. Sheti aake onu milo. Brij bala birhe na pai. Birhe tehare sang. Teh tum katha chalayo. Kavano pae prasang. She says that Brijbala Birhan Pai, that this child of Bindraban is in Birhan. She's in state of separation. Birha Tihare Sang, separated from you, O Krishna ji. Teh tum katha chalayo kavno paye prasang. So make sure, she tells Dasi, tell this katha, tell this story to Krishna. जब राधा ऐसे कहो मैन प्रभा के साथ मैन प्रभा चल तहे गई जहाँ हो तो ब्रिजनाथ. So once Radhika told Man Prabha this, Man Prabha goes to where Krishna ji is, and from there, Satsanga ji, we're going to break this into two parts. It is very long for that reason. We covered up to 13th Pauriyaan here, and there's 30 in total, so we'll cover the rest in the next session. So Saryan da bahut dhanyawad. Thank you so much for your time and patience with this session. I hope you are learning a lot, and I hope to see you in the next one then. Right? Please forgive us for our mistakes. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.